Well, it looks like a couple reviewers are able to do what they call a preview embargo day. It looks like they're doing a preview embargo day, so stick around. We're going to go ahead and we're going to explore this a little bit, so here we go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. You know it is JJ and JJ's PC Builds. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And all the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And the veteran subscribers, once again, y'all are awesome. Thank you for watching all the videos and helping support the channel. And also, to make sure y'all tell your friends, come on down, subscribe, watch the videos, and have some fun right here on JJ's PC Builds. Okay, now I was scouring the internet this morning, and it seems that Nvidia has given a little bit of a glimpse. Some reviewers get a little bit of a glimpse of the 4060, the RTX 4060. So, thing is this, what we're going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and, do a little bit of commentary through maybe one or two of the videos. So, there's a couple reviewers I've seen on this morning that are doing, the preview of the embargo day. They only can do like they're claiming they only can do what they say, they're only allowed to do certain things for their videos on this time. But let's go ahead and have a little bit of a glimpse and look at and see what they got to go. I watched Jay's 2 cents. He had his video up, and Daniel Owens has his videos up too. So I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you can watch either one or both of them, so that way you can see the preview on it and see what's going on. I'm sure there's going to be more reviewers that are going to be able to do this preview to the embargo day, but I figure, I just give you a little bit of a glimpse since we're still trying to work towards getting to that point. This is the best that I can do for you for today on the RTX 4060. So let's have a little bit of a watch and see what's going on. So you all can see what's going on. So you can see what's going on with the 4060, a little bit of opinions. And, I'll stop and go through the video and tell you what I think and everything else. But doing this right now, this is not a bashing or anything else. This is just basically, me gathering the information and what I see and getting other opinions and, what's going on and what everybody thinks. You can tell me what you think down in the description below. I mean, there's only maybe one or two times I've done this, so I don't want you to get it wrong. Make sure y'all subscribe to their channels as well, because they are putting this information out there. So why don't y'all just come along with me and sit back, get your soda, get your snacks with you, and enjoy the video, and hopefully you stay to the end, because I'll tell you my conclusions of what I think about the 4060, the RTX 4060. So I did a previous video on it before, but I gave my thoughts then, but from what I'm seeing right now and taking other views and opinions and everything else, I'm starting to see a little bit of a different light on, what Nvidia's got cooking. So let's go ahead and just switch the screen, go to the action screen, and get it started. Alright, so y'all don't get it wrong. This is we're just looking at the video that J2 Cents put out. He's a good reviewer, so, I mean, he's previewing Asus, the RTX 4060, the dual RTX 4060. So let's have a look at it and see what's going on and go from there.
Well, we were given permission to kind of give a sort of an exclusive first look teaser at the RTX 4060, which is interesting because if you recall during the announcements, this was supposed to lift in the embargo and be available in July, but they've pulled it into June. I don't know why the urgency. I don't know if maybe AMD has something coming. I'm not sure, but we're allowed to show you guys some early access numbers on performance, which I think is great. Because of the fact that I hate when embargoes lift on the day of availability, because now it gives you time to look at the numbers, kind of think about whether or not this is worth it to you, so that you can decide on launch day if you even want to get it. But don't worry, there'll be plenty on shelves. If what's one thing we've learned about 40 series is the fact that they're not selling out.
Well, he has a point there, because, you know, the thing is they're not selling out. Basically, the 40 series has been nothing but a debacle, all the way from the beginning, all the way coming down to the end. For the price-wise, that's kind of, you know, you have to go through the video a little bit more to see what's going on with it. But from my point of view, just a little bit of point of view, he is right that, you know, it could have launched out a lot better. So let's get back to the video.
So anyway, 4060. Here we go. It's probably going to be another bumpy ride.
Yeah, and he's got a point that it's going to be another bumpy ride. Let's go ahead and move forward into the video and go from there.
Also, shameless plug, our brand new retro mats are out. It's upside down. Our brand new retro gaming mats are available right now at j2sense.com.
You know, I was thinking about, I need a gaming mat for, I need to get me a gaming mat for my desktop here, so I might think about, you know, shooting over to his site and getting a gaming mat from Jay's 2 cents. So that looks like it looks like it's big enough it'll fit across my desk, so, you know, let's go on from there.
Also have the original gray and red if you don't want these cool colors that represent my childhood. You might notice this is not a Founders Edition card. I don't know if they're going to have a Founders Edition. I don't know if they're going to have a Founders Edition 4060 or not.
You know, that is a shame that, you know, Nvidia is not going to have a Founders Edition card. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people that look forward to the Founders Editions. You know, I mean, they would rather have every SKU in every series to have a Founders Edition. That would be a great collector's piece for the people that are, you know, enthusiasts and everything else that are collecting these pieces, because it's not so much that they're not collecting the AIB cards, they're collecting the AIB cards as well, but there's more how can you say, there's more value to the you know, the Founders Editions than there are the AIB editions, is because the AIB companies don't have their own Founders Edition. They have different editions. You know, they don't have something that makes them stand up and out. That might be something they're going to do in the future, to where they're going to have their own little Founders Edition to where it's going to stand up and out. But let's get on to the video.
Usually it's the 50 series cards that don't have a Founders. We had a Founders Edition 4060 Ti. Anyway, we'll just start with pricing. MSRP, $299. Technically, that's the same as what like 2060 and 3060 were, but you know what? I think we've already established that launching the new tier apparently at the same price is a bad thing. I think, honestly, in terms of pricing, if you really want to earn the customer back, I think $279 would have been a competitive price. $259 would have been like, yo, let's get mainstream gaming back. But
he's got a point there. You know, $259 would have been better, because when AMD launched their, was it the 7600? They launched it, they were going to launch it at $299, then changed their mind and put it down to $279, and now you can get it with discounts down to $259. You know, but now they're trying to compare apples with oranges. I would like to see them compare the 7600 when the embargo lifts a day before the launch. I'm sure they're going to do this, and they're going to compare this against the 4060 against the 7600 from AMD. I'm sure they're going to compare the two to see if, you know, $299 is more respectable than what AMD's got right now, from $279 to $259. But truthfully, he's right. $259 would have been the utmost banger for this card, especially with all the features and everything else it has. Let's go ahead and get back to the video.
$299 is the MSRP, which you know is going to probably launch for much higher than that. But anyway, we were sent an Asus dual model. I didn't choose the Asus, it chose me. I would have preferred a different brand. You guys know how I feel about this right now, but whatever, this is what was provided. Okay, so regarding specs, we'll go over all this also in the full review where we compare it with all of our titles in our normal benchmark suite. It's basically a 4060 Ti that's shaved down a little bit. So in terms of memory, it's still 8 gigabytes. That's, for a lot of people, that's not going to be enough, even at 1080p gaming, which is where this card is targeted. In fact, we're not even allowed to talk about 1440p gaming in this video. Probably because even though they've talked about this being the 60 series card being aimed at 1080p, we still do 1440p testing. So for us, they were like, stop it! For your early, you can only talk about 1080p. But moving on, 8 gigabytes.
Well, that's a shame. I mean, you know, the thing is this, the way they launched the 4060 Ti was totally different from the way they're launching this now. And, you know, for them to have a preview, have other, you know, top reviewers do a preview right now on the 4060, this is a total game changer, really. This gives you guys a glimpse of what you're going to be looking forward to. But for me, you know, in time I'll get the card and I'll test it out and do my own thing. But hopefully in the future we'll be able to do what them big reviewers do and be able to go from there. And we're still going to keep building and we're still going to keep going. But let's get back to the video.
It's got 32, no, instead of the 32 megabytes of L2 cache, it's cut down to 24. It's 128-bit bus, just like the 60 Ti. It does have that larger L2 cache because the whole idea behind that is instead of doing like HBM or stacked RAM, which AMD did a while back and didn't work out very well with the Radeon 7 series, they are just having a bigger cache available to the GPU, which means less misses when it comes to accessing RAM, or at least accessing that cache data, which means accessing the VRAM less, which means faster, quote-unquote, effective RAM speed. So anyway, whether or not it really makes a huge difference at the lower bus and the lower amount of VRAM, I guess time will just tell. But anyway, this is a...
See, that's the thing I don't understand, is when they put a lower bus speed and they put a lower VRAM on these, you know, these starter cards, okay? Now they have to understand, people want to do The Last of Us and they want to do, you know, Hogwarts, and they want to do these other top of the line games, but, you know, they got to go by their budget, okay? And the thing is this, they could have launched the card, if they're going to launch it at $299, my opinion, they should have put 12 gigabytes of VRAM on this card. At least 12 gigabytes for $299. I know I got myself a RTX 4070 with 12 gigabytes. It would have been nice if they put on the 4070 16 gigabytes, as well as they did the 4080, or they did the 4080 with 20 gigabytes of VRAM, and then they did the 4070 Ti and the 4070 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. It would have been nice. And then their lower cards they did with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. It doesn't cost them that much more to add that little much more. You know, it might cost them like $20 or $30 to put that much more onto the card to give it more pickup. but they didn't realize that. They keep adding $100 bills to every time they go from 12 to 16. They keep adding that $100 bill on. It's, gamers and consumers and everybody out there is just going to say, you're giving me a jump from 12 to 16, but no benefits, like they're going to be doing on the 4060 Ti, where they're going from 8 to 16. Where's the benefit? You're adding another $100 bill to it just to put another 8 gigabytes of VRAM on it, in which you can get, 8 gigabytes for less than $20 to $25. It just doesn't make sense, especially when they're buying these cards made in bulk, and when they buy them in bulk, they get a bulk discount. Every business does. So let's go ahead and get back to the video.
Fairly basic card. I'm a little surprised that this one actually had a dual BIOS on it. So that's just a function of this particular card. It feels like a IKEA prop.
Now, what he said by dual BIOS, he's right. The Asus Dual does have a dual BIOS on it. It's got that little fan switch. I'm still kind of up in the air about that fan switch. One side it says P and the other says Q. So if you put it on the P side, the fans stay on. You put it on the Q side, the fans turn, go to the zero fan mode. In reality, I'd rather have the fans running at a low speed instead of having them shut off. And that's just my opinion. The card can run at a continuous heat. And that processor is running at that continuous heat. Not processor. The GPU processor runs at that continuous heat. The problem with that is it's like a transistor. You run it continuously for 24/7 at a continuous heat, it starts breaking down that transistor to where it starts weakening it more and more. You might get 2 to 3 years running it continuously, unless it's built to run to made last for a long time. But if it's not, then basically you're best to keep it on performance, that little switch. My opinion, mine's on performance. I don't run mine 24/7, but I still want the GPU processor staying cool. I want it to stay, in the 30s. At least I know in the 30 degrees C's, we're good if it's running at idle. But when, you could have an idle spike to where it spikes it up high, and then the temperature goes up fast and high. You want something to take and cool it down really quick to keep it down there. Don't run it on that zero fan thing, because that right there, to me, I think is a joke. But anyway, back to the video.
If you guys ever gone to IKEA and you pick up the fake TV or the fake phones and it's so light, we're just so accustomed now to the giant, big-ass cards that a 40 series has developed. This feels broken. It just feels fake. But what else do I want to talk about here? Yeah, they've definitely targeted 1080p with this. Pricing, I feel like, it's a $299 MSRP. And this is the way the pricing goes right now. $299 for the 60. And the 60 only comes in one flavor, 8 gig. You've got the 4060 Ti 8 gig, which is $399. And you've got the 4060 Ti 16 gig, which is $499.
See, now he's right about these prices. These are the actual prices. Now the question's going to be is Nvidia going to do the same thing that AMD did when they bring out this card at $299? Are they going to say, "Oh no, I don't want it at $299. Put it down to $279. Put it down to $280." Are they going to say that? No, put it down to $280. Are they going to say that? I'm waiting to see it, because I think they are. They might, but I don't think Jensen's going to be playing that child kind of thing. I don't think he's going to actually do it. But there could be a possibility he might say, no, I want it down to $279, $280. Figure $279.99 is $280. It's just 1 penny difference. You know, just get that out there. But he might do it the same thing that AMD did, and that tells me they're just holding hands. And let's get back to the video.
I feel like that $499 price is a bit extreme, considering the fact that that was the price that a 3070 cost when 37 MSRP, I correct myself, 3070 had barely ever sold for that price. A $299, a $399, and a $499 SKU in the 60 series is just weird. I feel like if you're Nvidia and you really wanted to instill some confidence back in the buyer base and say, hey, we want gamers to have gaming cards that are affordable. It should have been a $279.99 MSRP, maybe even a $259.99. Because the problem is, if there's no Founders Edition card, which I don't think there is, or they would have sent us that and not AIC cards, as $299 MSRP means we're going to see $349.99 models and up when it comes to Asus eventually making its astronomically large Strix 60, which makes no sense at all.
He's right about that, because the thing is this, you know, Asus, we love you to death here. I got nothing but Asus love in this computer, okay? I got an Asus dual graphics card. I got an Asus Strix motherboard, you know. Asus, we show love right here. But the thing is this, when you start making your bigger cards and you start making them more and more and more, big and bulky's not really cutting it now these days. Just to give you a helpful hint, the reason why it's not becoming the big thing is because nobody's really wanting a big, bulky computer sitting on their desk. They're wanting something that's going to sit mid-tier like an MATX computer. You know, ATX somewhat, but they want an ATX MATX case like mine, you know, to sit on their computer, to sit on their desk to be their computer. Okay, you know, big and bulky is not really cutting it now these days. People are going to the 2-fan versions for the simple fact is the 3-fan versions, they can't see spending an extra $100 to $150 for an extra fan version. And especially when one of the fans take and quit, you got to turn around and spend another $20 to get the fan fixed and so on. Yeah, if you got 2 fans, you got a better option. You got, you know, you can replace one fan, you know, or get it in a package deal where you get 2 fans for $20 and then replace both fans. But, you know, when it comes down to the card, you know, you're just paying for the chassis and the heat sink and, you know, all that wraps around there. But you're basically, when it comes down to it all, you're basically getting the same card in a different chassis. Simple as that. So I can't see paying an extra $100 some for a bigger chassis when you got a better deal when you get a 2-fanner. And people think, oh, the 2 fans don't keep up with anything. Yeah, they do. So let's get back to the video and see what's going on.
You don't need more than a basic card like this with the Dual, especially when the fact that it's only a 110 watt TDP. 110 watt. Also, check this out. The irony of the fact that they are using a standard 8-pin PCI Express plug on their lowest watt part.
Now, that's the thing with the Asus Dual. And they did that with the RTX 4070 as well. They put one 8-pin connector on the 4070, you know, the Dual. It doesn't have that freaky connector, that one that keeps burning up and giving everybody a bunch of problems. So look at it like this. Asus did a plus by putting the 8-pin connector on the 4070s and maybe the 4060 Ti's, but seeing the 4060 now having that 8-pin connector, that seems like it's another plus. Also, too, the wattage that's being pulled from it, you know, I mean, I don't foresee it burning up this the 8-pin connector anytime soon. Let's get back to it.
Do you know why you haven't seen 4080 cards and below melting that connector? It's because that's still only like a 370 watt. I hate the fact that I said only 370 watt when 250 used to be the norm. They put the card with the absolute 0% chance of burning a 12 volt plug with the old school 8-pin PCI Express. Moving on, let's go and throw this on the test bench. Let's do some actual testing with it. Let's see what some of the real life performance is. The only title we're allowed to test it with is Cyberpunk 2077, but I'm kind of okay with that, and let me tell you why. Cyberpunk 2077 is our most demanding title that we test, but it also allows us to play around with some of the features that Nvidia is known for. DLSS 3, frame generation, and ray tracing. I would have never in a million years suggested anyone ever turn on ray tracing in a 2060. They're really comparing this card to the 2060 because of the fact that they know most people will upgrade about every 2 generation cycles because of the fact that that puts you at about 4 to 5 years. Anyone still running a 2060 non-TI, we're comparing this to 2060 at the moment, would be running 1st gen RT cores, 2nd gen Tensor cores. This is running 3rd gen RT, 4th gen Tensor cores. The downside is, as the generation of the RT cores got faster and better, they put less and less of them in the graphics cards. This supposedly will do great at ray tracing because of the improvements of DLSS 3 and especially frame gen. So let's put this thing through its paces. I'm going to put one of the wire views on here just because I'm curious as to how much of that 110 watt is coming through the cable. I feel like all 110 of it should be coming through the cable if you want to know the truth. There would be no reason to run 75 watts through the PCI Express slot. Although now if they come out with a 50 series card, probably with their efficiency gains they've gotten with Ada Lovelace, they'd be able to omit the power plug altogether. All right, guys, let's throw it on the test bench and see if it is worthy of your money or your interest.
Alrighty, I'm going to end up stopping the video there because y'all can see the ending part of this. The reason why is because I don't want to get copyright stricken. I want to keep it, where I don't get copyrighted. So, because in order to do videos and stuff like that, you gotta have the creator's permissions and stuff like that in order to do it. I figured I would do a little piece for you so that way you all can see what's going on, that they're doing a preview of it today, just a glimpse into it. But I will leave that link so you can watch the rest of it down below, so you can go see it on his channel at J2 Cents. You can go see it on his channel, see the ending of it. I don't want to, spoil the rest of his video by playing his whole video and, so on and so forth. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention that, they're doing a preview to the embargo today. I'm not sure how many reviewers are going to be doing it, but I just picked J2 Cents because he does awesome videos. Shout out to J2 Cents. You do awesome videos, just to let you know, man. So I figured I'd give you a little preview to your preview. So don't get it wrong. I'm not trying to steal anything. It's your video. You do awesome on your video. I watched it. I thought it was awesome. The details you went into it were just astronomically awesome. Okay, my conclusion. My conclusion is this. If it's using an 8-pin connector, that's gonna allow you a headroom of 150 watts. So if you're pulling 75 watts off of the PCIe slot and you're pulling 100 watts off of pulling 100 to 150 watts off of the 8-pin connector, so that'll give you your total wattage that the card's actually doing. So it's pulling one side and pulling the other. So you combine those two, you'll be able to get your total power draw that card's doing itself. So that's how I looked at it. If it's pulling power from one side to the other, it gives one big thing. Now, as far as the pricing, going back to the pricing a little bit, $299 for this card, I could give it my opinion, I think $299 it's okay. Okay, it's okay for $299, especially when you got the RX 6600 at $200. You got a lot of $200 cards out there that are going to be discontinuing soon. And the 4060 is not going to be discontinuing for the next 3, 4, 5 years. So you got a card that's updated that's going to get you another 5 years. As far as the testing between the 7600, the RX 7600, or any of the AMD series, the new 7000 series, that's going to be a test of, truth. Because their new 7000 series are going to be the testament of all truth. So, see what they got in store, to see if they got, something that's going to counter the 4060, 8 gigabyte version. I know AMD loves putting more VRAM on their cards compared to, Nvidia. Nvidia would rather give you more performance than VRAM for some reason. They think that, if you look outside of the box and you put all these little added features, but what people don't realize when it comes to these little added features that they put on the card, they've been there all along. All they're doing is they're modifying and intensifying. That's all they're doing, is modifying what was there and intensifying it. So basically you're getting a modified, intensified output for your monitor. So to change the aspect of your monitor, what comes out of the graphics card can only take your monitor to what it can take you to. It can't take you any further. Okay, that all depends on the monitor you have. Now, if you got the top line monitor that's got 500 hertz, that's 4K or 8K or 16K, then yeah, it takes you to a new level of, things. Your graphics card only going to take you so far. Now, those graphics cards are only based upon 1080p. Everything comes down to the baseline of 1080p, is because that's where everybody is still at. They haven't really reached up to the heights of 1440p yet. Not a lot of people want to transfer to 1440p is because they still enjoy the fact of 1080p gaming. And as far as the 1080p gaming, you still got your advantages of having plenty of FPS and everything else, and But now you got Nvidia putting out frame generation, which they got. Well, I got frame view and frame generation on mine. So I got DLSS 3 on mine. I got AV1 encoding and decoding on mine. Okay, I got a lot of advantages having the RTX 4070. A lot more horsepower than the 4060. But, with the 4060 entry-level card, I can't say it's really entry-level, and I can't say it's mid-level card. I could say the 4070 is a mid-level card, but I can't say that the 4060 is a mid-level card. I could say it's close to the entry-level card. It's still got 8 gigabytes of VRAM, but, all your new modern games are kind of teetering on the edge of, surpassing the 8 gigabytes part. So basically what they should have done was, with this card, they should have put it at 192-bit, they should have put it at 12 gigabytes of VRAM. Okay, and then come out later on with the 16 gigabytes 192-bit bus, 16 gigabytes of VRAM card. Instead of doing the 8, they should have went up to the 12, and they should have listened to the consumer. They should have watched where the game makers were going with their games and how far they were utilizing the VRAM, Instead of everybody worrying about so much about the cache, there's many cards that are out there that only have 4 megabytes of cache, but still blow past, and get this, still blow past the new series cards that only have 4 megabytes of cache. Like, let's see, the 6950 XT from AMD, or the 6750 XT from AMD, or the 6600. You noticed a lot of these cards, these older cards, are blowing past the newer cards, and they don't have all that extra L3 cache. L3 cache is not really where it needs to be. It's how you tune. You tune your card to work at the optimal 100 plus greater percent. I mean, the 4060 is a good entry card. If you're looking, your first time building a PC and you want a card that's going to last a long time, yeah, the 4060 is going to get you there. You know, if you're looking for something that just has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, that's the card to be. But if you're looking for something that's more, then you're best to wait for the 4060 Ti that has 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Or better, getting last generation series that's got 16 gigabytes of VRAM and be done with it. But I can tell you this, with these older cards, once they go to discontinuation, these newer cards are going to surpass it, and then, you know, I have a feeling everybody's just going to want to skip this generation and go to the next generation and see what they got cooking. But when they get to the next generation, they're not going to be happy, so they're going to come back to this generation. So it makes no sense to skip generations. To me, that's my thought. Even though that I do. I'll skip a generation just to go and see what's coming up, and if it's not good enough, then I'll go back to the old generation. But if the new generation's good enough, then yeah, I'll skip a generation. But that's only if. That's only if the newer generation that's coming up is better than the older, the last generation. That's only if. But like I said, this is a preview of the embargo that's going to be coming up on the 28th or the 29th. Make sure y'all stick around. There's going to be more news coming up about the Nvidia RTX 4060, but it seems that some reviewers have got Asus dual RTX 4060, and I'm not sure about MSI. I'm not sure about EVGA, well, EVGA ain't doing that no more, but Gigabyte, and some of these other makers, I'm not sure if they're going to be doing a preview of an embargo, because I guess Nvidia loosened up the chains a little bit. So I guess they get a shot at, getting their card out there first. So, but anyway, I'm not going to keep y'all here forever. I just wanted to tell you, have a look at J2 Sense's video and Daniel Owens' video. I'll leave the description the link in the description below to let y'all know. Go check out their full view of their video. I'm not going to do the full video here because I'm not going to be rude like that. I just wanted to give y'all a glimpse of what they got going on over there. It's not I'm promoting them. I'm just basically saying, check them out. They got the information on it. I can't get the information on the 4060, so I know y'all are probably looking for that information on the 4060. So, if somebody's got something that, I don't have, yeah, I'm going to recommend you go check them out too. It's not that I want you to run over there. It's just I want you to, at least I have the little bit of respect for their channel to throw a shout out there for them, just to say, we're all a community and we all work together to get the best of the best of the best. So, that's how I look at it. I mean, even if I put them out there, still, it is what it is. But anyway, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Believe it or not, we're getting to the halfway mark of the 4,000 watch hours and subscribers. We're up to the 1/4 mark, so we're still working towards getting to our mark of 1,000 and 4,000. So, but we have a couple new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. I'm glad you joined. So, and the veteran subscribers, thank you for all the love and support again. Until the next time, in the next video, this is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on the next one.